Okay, so we are live again tonight. This morning, actually, it's 12:31, early Monday morning, and I got news today that I didn't have to work tonight. So here we are. It's strange for me to have a Sunday night off. I never ever have a Sunday night off. So just figured I'd come on here and give some more updates on the Audrii Cunningham disappearance down there in Texas. And if I have enough time tonight, I'm going to try to start reinvestigating the Maine South Woodsman case in Worcester, Massachusetts. So let's get going. I'll play my intro and I will be right back. So this is quite funny. This is it's Sunday morning. It's actually Monday morning. I keep saying Sunday morning because I'm all fucked up. It's I mean, I never have Sunday night off. I'm usually working, but like I said, I got news today that because of the holiday tomorrow, I don't have to go in tonight. So what the hell do I do with myself? I go live. That's what I do. Those who are in true crime, like all of us, know that it's this or that. It doesn't matter really much. And I've been following Southern Gal all day with Mr. Steve, and then her stream. She just had a stream, very very good stream. So yeah, thank you everybody. Hey Dean, how are you? Miss Persevere's here. Glad everybody could stop by. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to go to any of the updates on this missing girl down in Texas. So let me play this first, and then I'll go to, because I have the map up. Let me share this here. Hope everybody had a good day, good weekend. Yeah, I always get screwed up this time of the year because there's President's Day, and then there's Washington's birthday, which is tomorrow. So I know that it's not this week that the kids have off. I think it's next week. So that gets me kind of confused, but I call it a senior moment all the time. Whatever. Okay, so let's play this here. So if anybody doesn't know about this case, she's been missing since Thursday. This is the disappearance of this beautiful little girl here, Audrii Cunningham. And I got a couple of things I want to play. This one first here. So this is coming from Fox 26 Houston, and this is about the person of interest here. But I have a map up too, so we're going to do a little driving here. So let's go.
Details about the person of interest in the disappearance of 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham. Tonight, we have new video of the suspect just a day after the child went missing and new information from neighbors about the last time they saw the girl.
Oh, here we go.
Fox 26's Abigail Dye is live in Livingston tonight with what she has found. Abigail.
Tom, neighbors say that they saw little Audrii walking to and from school every single day, but they didn't see her Thursday. But her family says that she left around 7 a.m. to walk to the bus stop. So somewhere in that half-a-mile walk is when she disappeared. And we are learning more about this person of interest who has a lengthy criminal history.
See, she just I keep getting this from these news reports. I'm going to play this again because she keeps contradicting herself.
Tonight, we have new video of the suspect just a day after the child went missing and new information from neighbors about the last time they saw the girl. Fox 26's Abigail Dye is live in Livingston tonight with what she has found. Abigail.
Tom, neighbors say that they saw little Audrii walking to and from school every...
So she just said to and from school. They see her walking to and from school. But then she says later here to a bus stop. So I'm assuming that she meant bus stop and not to and from school.
Single day, but they didn't see her Thursday. But her family says that she left around 7 a.m. to walk to the bus stop. So somewhere in that half-a-mile walk is when she disappeared.
See, that's so weird. I got this yesterday too when I did my live. It's just... I'm assuming it's the bus stop and not to school, back and forth to school. So,
and we are learning more about this person of interest who has a lengthy criminal history, including crimes against children. This video of Don Stephen McDougal was taken Friday morning off North Washington and Livingston. It appears an officer is questioning him. Authorities took him into custody not long after on an old assault charge. McDougal is a person of interest in the disappearance of 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham. She was reported missing the day before this video was taken, Thursday. Officials say family saw her last at 7 a.m. before she left for the bus stop. It's about a half-mile walk from her home. A neighbor, Denise Kolojako, says she's watched her make it daily, but the last time...
Yeah, that's what I think. It was just a, misspeak or misspoken, but, they did that yesterday, too.
Was Wednesday.
That would have been Valentine's Day. She was walking by. She was giving my dog loving, and... I told her happy Valentine's Day.
She comes down the street, gives your dog some love on the way to the bus stop every day, but on Thursday...
She never went by.
When you say McDummy, do you mean... that's too funny. That's what Gray Hughes calls... what's his face? I don't know. Yeah, I'm assuming they mean bus stop. And that's what I thought, too. I thought somebody dropped her off at a bus stop. But I'm not sure. I don't know. So let's go back to this here.
And so is it your assumption that she did not walk to the bus stop? She got driven that day?
Yes, because the dog will alert us whenever she is walking by.
Authorities say they...
So that's interesting. She usually walks to and from, but that day she got driven to. So whoever dropped her off was probably the last person to see her. So that's probably why. I'm just assuming.
Foul play, and this McDougal has a very lengthy criminal history dating back to 2001. Records show he's been convicted of multiple crimes, including.
That's who she looks like. Thank you, Miss Persevere. I was trying to figure out who she looked like. She does. She looks just like Summer Wells. Good call.
2 counts of enticement of a child back in 2008. Documents say he was sentenced to 2 years in prison for each count. A search on Facebook pulls up this account, which appears to be McDougal's. He's seen in this photo with a swastika tattoo on his shoulder. Officials haven't confirmed his connection to Audrii, but Kolajako says she's seen him at the home.
I went by there one day and he was there. It was a high and by conversation, so I don't know.
Authorities found Audrii's backpack near Trinity River near the dam and have been searching the area since.
So that's where they found the backpack by the dam. That's why they were out there. I think they were out there Thursday and Friday at the dam.
Love you, and we want you home, Audrii. I'm sorry, baby girl.
Now, authorities have seized McDougal's vehicle that they were once looking for. McDougal is still in custody tonight, but he hasn't been charged with any crimes in the disappearance of Audrii. Live at the Lake Livingston Dam, Abigail Dye,
She just sounds stoned. She just does.
Fox 26 News.
Okay, so I do want to play another one here before I go to the map. Give me a second here. It's not here. It's going to be in my. Okay, let me stop sharing this. Hope everybody's having a good night so far here. So let's play this one here. This was done. I think this one was done a while back, 16 hours ago, I think, for this one here. But this is the press conference here. I think I played part of this last night, but I want to play this one again here. Let me share this. It is kind of strange that she usually walks to the bus stop, and then that day she didn't. She got a ride. That is a little weird.
Seen wearing a black hoodie with white lettering and black pants on Lakeside Drive in Livingston. She also had a camo backpack. If you have seen Audrii or know where she is, please call the Polk County Sheriff's Office.
So my name is Lieutenant Craig Cummings. I'm a spokesperson for the Texas Department of Public Safety. This afternoon here at the request of the Polk County Sheriff. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to be at this press conference, but he remains actively engaged in this investigation and helping bring this little girl home. So I want to update the media and the community about what we've got thus far. So around 5:30.
So this was done. This interview here was done. Well, this interview I think was done on the 16th, but this is a whole collage of updates here, I think.
3 p.m. yesterday, the family reported Audrii missing when she didn't get off the bus. Investigators learned that she didn't get on the bus yesterday morning, further prompting concerns. So they reached out to the family reached out to the Polk County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff's Office contacted Texas Department of Public Safety, and an Amber Alert was issued soon after it was requested yesterday. Investigators are actively speaking with persons of interest in this particular case. They are asking for any information that can help find her.
This poor kid. I mean, this is like one of those horrible, horrible nightmares as a parent, you know?
And that information can be submitted by calling the Polk County Sheriff's Office, submitted through our iWatch Texas app, or if it's an emergency nature, calling 911. At this point, no tip is too small. So if you've got information that you think could be helpful, we're absolutely asking you to help.
So let me, before we go too far with this, I want to take a little drive here. let me. So here is what they just had on. This is that kind of loop here. You had a bus. There's a bus stop here, and then another bus stop down here. So if we follow this, this is going. Okay, so this is apparently this is the road she would have walked down to go to the bus stop here. I mean, this is a fairly decent neighborhood, right? I mean, you wouldn't. Let me put this thing back up here. This is Lakeshore Drive, Livingston, Texas. This is so it's about. She said the news woman said it was about a half a mile to the bus stop. So I'm assuming there's the bus stop down here somewhere. Usually they have a sign. I know they have signs around here now for the bus stop. All right, so let's go back to the. Just want to get a. Yeah, it's a decent area. Go back to this here.
Investigators also are actively following leads in this case as well. They're also working with Crime Stoppers so that they can try to get an award put together. The FBI is also assisting in this investigation, as they do with several Amber Alerts. Our Texas Rangers are here assisting with the investigation, along with the Polk County Sheriff's Office, San Jacinto County Sheriff's Office. This is really an all-hands-on-deck case. What led investigators here today? We're actively following leads. And so that's exactly what we're doing here now. We've got boats that are in the water, and we've also got dogs that are down there as well. Our hope is that with all the equipment that we're bringing in here, that we can bring her home safely. Who are some of the people of interest? Right now, we're not getting into that. This is still a very active and fluid investigation, and so investigators are actively involved in getting information that will help bring Audrey home. What's that? At this point, we can say investigators are actively following leads, but we can't go any farther than that at this point. We're trying to protect the integrity of the investigation as most we can. The priority right now is bringing Audrey home.
Is the lead strong enough for you all to be here for several hours? We've seen a dog given some items to sniff, and that dog immediately took off. Can you kind of share what you all have seen here to keep you here for several hours?
Yeah, so there are several different pieces of information that we are looking at. To say how long we're going to be here really is difficult to say at this point. I know that we are going to continue this investigation, be here for as long as we need to do until we have exhausted all the leads that we've uncovered here.
Is this the only location you all are actively searching?
This investigation remains ongoing, and so there are a lot of different things at play right now, but I could definitely say investigators are here concentrated in this area following those leads.
So Audrey has not been found?
No.
The initial info said they believe she would be in grave danger. You guys kind of explain why that might be the case?
We don't want to go any farther than what we've gone thus far. We want to protect the integrity.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the best case scenario if she's, found alive and well. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't want to speculate too much, but uh, I don't know where he is. It's just a horrible situation. It just is. Oops. Hold on a second.
That update just 20 minutes ago.
The family of the girl says she went missing about 5:30 last night. We're talking about up in Polk County. Investigators say they will be back at Lake Livingston, where they've been searching today, as soon as the sun comes up tomorrow. Our reporter, Stephen Goen, has been on the scene since this morning with the latest right now. Stephen.
Just moments ago, the Texas Department of Public Safety telling us this is a continued area of interest in the search for Audrii Cunningham. They say they're still actively following leads, and that is what brought them here to this section of Lake Livingston near the dam. Now, we saw a large law.
So I shared this last night. I'm going to do it again here. Let me see here. So this is the dam here, and that guy must be talking around here somewhere because he's pointed behind him. So this is the dam. So apparently in this area is where they found the backpack, I think. This is that road there, and maybe they're standing in this area here. So, and this is the only images I have of this dam here. So they had a helicopter out there too, with no sound. All right, let's go back to the video here.
Enforcement presence here earlier in the day for hours and hours. Officials telling us that Audrii was reported missing last night when she did not get off the school bus, but it turns out she never got on the bus in the morning. Investigators have not characterized this as an abduction. They only say Audrii is missing. Now, officials tell us the search is winding down for today, and they are not searching tonight, but law enforcement will be back here at daybreak at this continued place of interest. Take a listen.
This is a location of interest. And so that's the reason why we've got the effort. That's why
I mean, I don't want to make it sound like I'm better than anybody else, but I always waited when I was, my job to get the kids off to school. I always waited for them at the bus stop. I never, I know when I went to school, it's who cares, just go out there and wait for the bus. But nowadays, you just never know. You can't trust anybody, nobody. And if this guy, I'm not saying everybody's innocent until proven guilty, but if this guy is responsible for this, and he was allowed to just hang around the house, I mean, it's just that's just being dumb.
We have the dogs here. That's the reason why the boats have been here. All of this in an effort to find Audrii.
Hey, Jocelyn, how are you? Just out down to eat lunch. 1 a.m. Yeah, I'm doing it live because I didn't have to work tonight. So good to see you. Very, very good to see you. Hope lunch is good.
Now here's a picture of Audrii that we got from the Polk County Sheriff's Office. She is described as approximately 4'1" with blonde hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing black pants, a black hoodie, and a Hello Kitty backpack. Now Audrii's last known location is just a short drive away from here, but they are still searching in many different places.
It's this stuff right here that just makes me really angry. Like, ugh.
Places for her, of course, here at this continued place of interest. We are told anyone with information or any tips are encouraged to call the Polk County.
Hey, Audrii, how are you? Good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's like I said, I don't want to make it sound like I'm better than anybody else, but I don't trust my kids around anybody.
Sheriff's Office. We're going to watch this search wind down tonight here at the dam. For now, at Lake Livingston, Stephen Golan, back to you.
And breaking tonight, we are hearing from the mother of a missing 11-year-old girl in Polk County.
Audrii Cunningham vanished on the way to school Thursday morning. It triggered an Amber Alert and a major search involving local, state, and federal authorities.
Authorities spent.
I mean, there was the case in New York. Remember, upstate New York, right next to me. Actually, I was almost about to go over there and try to look for the girl that was missing up there. Turns out she was in somebody's trailer on the back. So there is some, hope.
The day looking in an area around Lake Livingston up in Polk County.
Matt Doherty is live tonight at the Polk County Sheriff's Office.
So she's last seen here, and we were just on that. I think we were just on that map here. The dam is right in here somewhere, I think. Nope, the dam's over in here. So I don't know where the school is. Let me try to find out.
Matt, what do we know right now?
Well, enemy authorities will resume their search first thing tomorrow morning. It was halted earlier tonight once it got dark. However, this is still a very active investigation.
David, this is the stuff that you see on TV, and you wonder, you can only imagine what the family and the parents are going through, and there's not words for it.
Through tears, Cassie Matthews, the mother of 11-year-old Audrii, pleaded for help finding her missing daughter tonight.
She was allegedly dropped off at her bus stop, and later on we come to learn that she never even made it on the bus.
Just hours before, investigators were playing things close to the vest, letting on that they know more than they're willing to tell the public right now.
And I can understand the public's concern that we're not giving out a lot of information, but the end here is to find Audrii and bring her home.
They haven't said if they found any sort of evidence in the area they spent searching Friday night near Lake Livingston. And despite the rumors in this small town, they won't say if there is a suspect connected to the girl's disappearance. Audrii's mother says her daughter was living with her father, who has custody, as well as her grandmother and another man. Family members tell us that other man would drive Audrii to the bus stop each morning before school.
See, isn't that really weird? They just said it again. And this is what makes me angry. Maybe it's just these news reporters getting this completely fucking wrong. But they're saying one thing and then they're saying another thing. They're saying she usually walks to school. She walks to the bus stop back and forth. And now they're saying this guy brings her to school, to the bus stop all the time. Which one is it? And it's aggravating. Sorry. But anyways, I think the school that she was heading to is Timber Creek Elementary. Does that sound? Because there's Timber Creek Elementary School, Livingston Junior High School, and then the high school. So I'm assuming that it's called Timberlake Elementary. Would she still be in elementary? 11? Sorry, let me go back to this.
No one at the family's home would speak with us tonight. Meanwhile, Cassie Matthews says she's devastated.
You feel it's a roller coaster. You're
Hello, CJK. How are you? Good to see you. Yes, this is a disturbing case for sure. This is horrid. Just every parent's worst nightmare.
broken. You're mad. You're lost. You're empty. And right now, I'm empty. And I'm not gonna be the same unless my baby is returned.
It's like, why? You know, look at this kid. It's just, she's no bigger than this cup. You know why? It's just horrible.
Me, and neither is her family, anyone in her family, any of us.
Authorities say that they are speaking to persons of interest tonight. If you have any information.
So 11, right? K through 6th grade. So 11 having trouble with math this very second. Yeah, well, yeah. So she would still be in elementary school. Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird. It's just, it's just so bad. Why would somebody do that?
On Audrey's disappearance, you're asked to give them a call right away. Back to you.
Hopeful for her safe return. Matt Doherty, thank you.
11-year-old Audrii Cunningham is still missing. The massive search to find her continues this morning near Lake Livingston. New this morning, officials have released an image of a vehicle of interest. Katara Winfrey is.
Hello, Lisa Clemens. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, no, it's. I was just about to say why she's not living with the mother, but you never know these days. So you heard the grandmother had mental issues, possibly dementia. I mean, it just sucks. It's so weird. It's just.
Is live in Polk County with the newest details. Katira, what have you learned out there this morning?
Well, Cheryl, the search area here near Bower Marina is starting to fill up. EquiSearch is here along with several other law enforcement agencies, all desperate to find this little girl.
So this was done 2 days ago at 8 a.m.
And now this morning, we've officially reached past 48 hours since that little girl has gone missing. Now, here's a look at a vehicle of interest. It's a 2003 dark blue Chevy Suburban. Officials believe it's some way connected to the missing girl. Now, this morning, search.
I can almost guarantee you they're going through this vehicle with a fine-tooth comb for any signs here.
Areas is looking really similar to what we saw yesterday as crews looked for clues. Officials say Audrey went missing on her way to school. Family later learned she never got on the bus or made it to school. And so far, investigators call the search location an area of interest, and that's what led them here. KHOU spoke to Audrey's mom here. Hear what she had to say.
It's just so effed up. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it just, but, people, like I said, I don't want to make it seem like I'm better than anybody else, but, I mean, it just sucks.
She has so many opportunities ahead of her, and she deserves every right to be able to reach those opportunities. She should be at home where we know she's safe and she's warm and she's fed, and she should be with her little brother.
She looks just like her mother, literally.
She should be doing what Audrey does, smiling, laughing, making everybody else smile.
That's one of my favorite names, too, is Audrey. If I would have had my say, one of my girls would have been named Audrey, but I got overruled quick with that.
Smile and laugh.
And the mother said Audrii lives with her dad, her grandmother, and another man, and says that that man allegedly dropped her off at the bus stop.
I freaking love this, Dean. This is funny. I think I'm going to start calling him McDummy, too. Yeah, absolutely.
Thursday morning. However, investigators so far haven't given any suspect information, but we'll update you throughout the day as we learn more. For now, reporting live in Polk County, Katira Winfrey, KHOU 11 News.
Absolutely heartbreaking to hear the concern in that mother's voice. Thank you so much, Katira.
Good afternoon. I appreciate your patience and everybody coming here today. My name is Lieutenant Craig Cummings, CRAIG, CUMMINGS, a spokesperson with Texas Department of Public Safety. And today we're here to provide updates on the search for Audrii.
So this was done later that day at 2:15. We saw this one last night, I think. I'm trying to mess with the volume here because the volume keeps going in and out. I got the subtitles on here, so.
Cunningham, the 11-year-old went missing on Thursday. I'm here joined by the Polk County District Attorney Shelley Sitton, as well as members of the Polk County Sheriff's Office, Lieutenant Craig Finnegan. And I also want to make the mention that we have countless investigators and analysts that are out here assisting as well in multiple locations.
And in my opinion, you know, it's just this is just going off the rails here. In my opinion, if you know, if anything bad happened to her, and they find the guy that did it, there's no such thing as the worst punishment in the world for the person. Just none.
Throughout the county and throughout the area, looking for Audrii. Sheriff Lyons was not able to be here this afternoon, but I want to reiterate he is actively engaged in marshaling the resources that are needed to bring Audrii home. He did ask.
That's the thing, you know. That's the thing that I'm wondering, because they keep messing up with what actually happened that morning. So, you know, when did she actually disappear? Because nobody actually saw her walking to school, right? It's just bizarre.
Asked me to thank all of the volunteers who have been so helpful during this, all the businesses that have been just nothing but exceptional. The dive teams, you know, it's cold out here. All the investigators, the tech.
What? There was a video of them spraying the girl in the eyes. Oh my God.
Rangers, the FBI, also the FBI has victim specialists who have been with the family. Also want to thank the District Attorney's Office and EquiSearch as well, who was out here.
Oh my God.
I can say last night that investigators searched several locations throughout the area looking for Audrii. Unfortunately, they did not find her. That's the reason why the search continues this morning. This investigation is very fluid. However, I can say
agreed.
We ended up identifying a backpack yesterday at the dam that is consistent with that belonging to a child.
So that's where they found that backpack. They found that. That's why they were searching that dam area. So let me go back to this here.
And so we are going through those contents right now to evaluate what's in that. And although I mentioned yesterday, we have persons of interest. Today, I want to announce that we have one main person that we are looking at right now as a person of interest, and that is Don Stephen McDougal, 42 of Livingston. He was arrested yesterday for an unrelated aggravated assault charge. And in furtherance of this investigation, we're asking for the public to call the Polk County Sheriff's Office or use our iWatch Texas app to report seeing the 2003 Chevrolet Suburban that we put out on X this morning. That is McDougal's vehicle. So anyone that saw that vehicle on Thursday or Friday, we're asking that you call the Polk County Sheriff's Office.
In that video, I think we played earlier in this one here, that was the guy that was being questioned. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was the guy, McDougal.
Office, use the iWatch text
McDummy.
and report what you saw to investigators. I also want to announce that we are very thankful for the Polk County Crime Stoppers for offering a $7,000 reward for tips leading to the arrest and prosecution of the person responsible for Audrey's disappearance. And these tips can be anonymous. I also want to say that.
And that's why I keep saying, I think, the Child Protective Services, the whole thing needs to be redone. There's some really good people that work, then there's some people that really aren't really good. But the whole system thing that whole thing needs to be completely redone. It's just, in most cases like this one here and the other one we were talking about the other day, just doesn't work.
We are hopeful that we can bring Audrey home alive, and that's what we are absolutely working for right now. But based on the evidence that we've got, we understand that foul play is a factor as well. So with that,
Just like the whole Montgomery case, Adam Montgomery, why she was with her father, the piece of dog shit. I don't know how that happens. I just don't. I don't understand how that's even possible. I mean, the guy is just a literal piece of shit. He's just a horrible human being, and she should have never been with him. That's for sure.
I open it up for questions. That's part of the ongoing investigation right now. Our investigators remain absolutely committed to finding Audrey, and so I don't want to get into those investigative efforts.
I mean, there's so many good people that would love, I mean, that's not 100% perfect either, but there's so many people out there that are just, willing to give up their entire life to adopt children. It's just,
But they're absolutely ongoing. I'm not sure where it was found. Our investigators are looking through that now, but we do know it was right down there in the dam and it was wet. So where we did the press conference yesterday, the bag was found down there by the river there. Any additional evidence found along the River 59 that you might be able to? We're not giving out additional information on that right now. Again, we are looking at this as a criminal investigation as well. And so we have to protect the integrity of that. And
the fact that the backpack was found and she wasn't around the backpack is, I mean, to me, that's a little bit suspicious. That's bizarre.
Again, I want to reiterate, our sincere hope is that we bring Audrey home. So anyone who has information, who has seen that vehicle, the 2003 Chevrolet Suburban, please call investigators and give us your information.
Is Google cooperating with you all?
I 100% agree. Anybody, I've stated millions of times, I have no respect for anybody that harms a child. I just don't. It's, something that's got to stop.
I would say that there are times, but I don't want to get farther into that right now. Our investigators have done a great job in doing what they do best, which is uncovering the facts that leading them to draw conclusions, and that's exactly what they're doing right now.
Do you all have control of that vehicle right now, or is it still out in the
No,
field?
we have control of it. Yes. Yeah. He was arrested last night on the unrelated aggravated assault charge.
And on a more, personal level, the scale of something like this has to be a tough one for law enforcement, for the community. Talk a little bit about how you all are following up and how you guys are using this law to kind of push you forward in this work.
I think that brings up a great point.
I mean, you literally just want to give up everything, go down there and help look too. I mean, but I'm pretty sure they have enough problems.
Everybody is committed They realized that Audrii was loved by so many folks, and that is the driving force for us to get answers to bring her home. But it certainly resonates through the law enforcement community. Many of us have kids, on how this can happen. And so we are working exceptionally hard. Investigators from many agencies that are out here, and nonprofits that are.
It's good that Texas EquiSearch is there helping, because that might help quite a bit. Like I said, I know they had a helicopter out there the other day.
Out here to bring Audrii home.
Can you shed any light on the timeline between the time that the father was notified that he was not in school and the report was actually made?
Yeah, McDumey's got a rap sheet for sure, and it's in line with a lot of these guys. It escalates, unfortunately.
We can say that about 5:30 on Thursday is when she was reported missing. I don't want to get any further details than that. I want to protect this investigation so that our investigators can do what they do best.
Does it still hold true that she never made it to school or got on the bus?
Right. She did not make it to school. That was the reason why the father, the family became very concerned, and she did not get off the bus.
Sir, it's going to start getting darker in a few more hours. Until what time are you guys going to be actively searching for Audrii?
We were actively searching throughout the night last night. And so I would surmise that if the evidence is driving us that far, the investigators that we've got are dogged. They are absolutely committed
Ridiculous.
To finding Audrii. And so if there's a reason to be out here at night, that's exactly what they're going to be doing. There were other items that were found, but we're not getting into what those items were. That's all part of the investigative effort that we've got ongoing right now. All right, with that. I don't want to get any farther than that. That's certainly, we're looking at all factors. And so our primary focus and hope is that we bring Audrii safely home. But we also realize that foul play may be a factor. So we're just considering that in light of the Crime Stoppers reward. So that's where we're at right now. But I want to thank everybody for being here. We will continue to provide updates on X. If more information becomes available, we'll certainly hold another press conference to keep the public and y'all informed. Again, thank you for being here.
Begin with breaking new developments in the case of a missing 11-year-old girl in Livingston. Authorities.
So this one was done after that last one. So I'm just kind of trying to chronologically go through these here.
He's announcing they now have a person of interest in custody, but are still hoping to find Audrii Cunningham alive. Don McDougal has been arrested on an unrelated charge. Investigators want to hear from anyone who has seen him or his vehicle, this 2003 Chevy Suburban, over the past couple of days. Let's get right to Devon Roming live in Livingston, where the search for Audrii continues at this hour. Devon.
Well, Marcelino, there are several investigators from multiple agencies on site here behind me, searching the water and surrounding area near the Lake Livingston Dam for 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham. Now, investigators with the Department of Public Safety say they're currently going through a child's backpack, which was found here yesterday at the dam. And today they announced they have a person of interest in custody, 42-year-old Don Stephen McDougal.
I wonder if they got his DNA off of that backpack.
Investigators posted a picture of this 2003 Chevy Suburban, which they say belongs to McDougal, and they're asking for the public's help to track its route over the last few days.
He was arrested yesterday for an unrelated aggravated assault charge. In furtherance of this investigation, we're asking for the public to call the Polk County Sheriff's Office or use our iWatch Texas app to report seeing the 2003 Chevrolet Suburban that we put out on X this morning.
Again, here's another look at that Chevy Suburban. If you've seen it anywhere in this area between Thursday and today, you're asked to call police. Audrii hasn't been seen since Thursday morning. Her family reported her missing after
They found evidence of foul play in the Suburban. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going through that Suburban like nobody's business. Anything. He was trying to get rid of it. Yeah, that's a good point there. I wonder if they can, find out where that mud came from, because it looks like that thing's got plenty of stuff on it. I know it's fairly dry down there, though, right? I'm not sure.
didn't get off her school bus Thursday afternoon. It was later learned that she never got on the bus in the morning. Now, the Polk County Crime Stoppers is offering a $7,000 reward for any
So she never got off the bus because she never got on the bus. I mean, I don't know why they keep saying that.
information that could lead to where Audrii is and her safe return home, as well as an arrest and conviction in Audrii's disappearance. For now, live in Livingston, Devon Rahming, KHOU 11 News.
Yes, that little heart on the bottom of the YouTube thing is the most annoying freaking thing they could have put on there. I mean, it just, because you can't see anything, and if you screw up, like I screw up all the time with, typing, you can't remove and redo it because that stupid little heart is there. Somebody needs to get rid of that. It's annoying. All right, so let me play one more here on this. Let me stop this here. Play the latest one, I guess. I think I already just played that one. I played that one. Let's, did we? Well, I wanted to play this here because this is the father, I think. Hold on a minute. Right here. Okay, so let's, hold on. Let me stream this before I have Karen yelling at me for not streaming it. So I believe this is the family speaking out here. This was done 11 hours ago. I don't know who this is, but we're going to find out.
CHRISBOOTHE. I'm here to speak for the family, the grandmother and the father and them and that. Booth. CHRISBOOTHE. I'm here to speak for the family, the grandmother and the father and them and that. Right now, we respect that y'all.
Can anybody hear that?
Audrii home. We respect that everybody gives them some kind of privacy and let them deal with this. This is.
Good night, CJK. Thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Have a good week. Have a good Monday.
A tragic incident. I realize that everybody's talking a bunch of stuff on Facebook and stuff like that. I'm going to ask that if you don't know anything, don't say anything. All you're doing is hurting the family. It makes no sense. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know the circumstances. I do know Audrii is loved. I know Audrii is cared for. And I know
Thank you, Jocelyn.
Audrii loved her grandmother, her father, her brother, and family. I'm asking everybody to stop the BS, and I'm sorry for the language, the BS on Facebook and all the garbage talk on Facebook.
Good night, Audrii. Have a good week. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
You don't know the circumstances, leave it alone. Audrii was well loved and everything like that. Audrii was well taken care of.
Really?
Audrii is missed. We want her home. This right here was for Audrii. Again, please, if you talk crap on Facebook, please just let it go. The family doesn't need that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Nobody needs it. Until you know what's going on and you hear from the sheriff department.
Sorry, I just saw good night, and I'm like, oh, sorry. Now everybody's saying good night, Audrey. I'm sorry. I apologize. I should probably read better. Well, I'm glad you're staying with us, Audrey. This guy sounds pissed.
Don't spread rumors. Okay? If you have any questions, any information, please contact the Polk County Sheriff Department, the tip lines, everything like that. We want Audrey home. So that's all I've got. I'm not answering questions or anything like that. But if y'all need any, if y'all got any tips, anybody's got any tips or anything like that, please contact Polk County Sheriff Department, Livingston PD. Contact any law enforcement to give them the tips. That's all I got. I'm not going to answer any questions. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure this guy's talking about the community and friends that they have on Facebook that are spreading a bunch of, misinformation. One can only imagine what's going on with, all of the speculation and stuff like that. So, but I mean, if some of the rumors are true, or this guy just was able to, it's just sucky.
That's comments from the family and everything like that. I appreciate y'all being respectful and not trying to go in there and bombard the family or anything like that. So thank y'all again.
All right, so that's the end of that one. I can stop sharing that. I want to go, hold on a second, let me get out of here. So this is basically the area again, and this is basically kind of where they are here. Here's the well, there's a whole bunch of schools here. There's Creekside Elementary, Timberlake Elementary here. So it's quite a ways here from, you definitely have to be bused there. And the dam is down, this is a dam here. So I'm assuming they live in here somewhere. Where was that? No, it was right up in here. Anyways, that's where the schools are. So yeah, they have to be bussed in, but I'm trying to figure out whether or not she even made it to, walking or not. But anyways, it's kind of weird. All right, so I'll play one more and then I'll go on to the Adam Montgomery stuff because it's pretty much the same, Let's play here. Played that one. Played that one. I got one more to play here. Give me a second here. Can we play the one where we saw the guy that was no, it's right here. Okay. All right, so let's play this one here, then I'll move on to stop screen, present. I have way too many windows open, sorry. So I think this is the latest one. This was done 2 hours ago, so we'll play this. Still no signs of
everyone to continue praying until we have a safe return of Audrey back to her family.
Brand new drone video from search crews looking for 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham. For the third straight day, crews have been combing through land and water, desperately hoping for any sign of her. Thank you for joining us this evening for KPRC2 News at 10. I'm Bill Barajas. 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham disappeared Thursday in Livingston. Her family says she never made it onto the school bus that morning. Tonight, KPRC2's Gage Golding is in Lake Livingston, which has been the focal point of the search for Audrii. Gage?
Wow, sorry.
Another long day for investigators and the dozens of search crews battling both the bitter cold and the sheer volume of land and water they need to cover. Yet again, coming up empty-handed.
Family, friends in the local Livingston community gathering Sunday.
I didn't mean to blow everybody's eardrums out there. Sorry. And the strange thing about this whole case is, not to make light of this one, but Thursday, when I was covering this, there was another kidnapping done, I don't know, up in Dallas somewhere, Austin, I think, of a 12-year-old. And she was found actually in a motel. So I thought that was this case when I was following this one, but it wasn't.
The afternoon in prayer, praying that 11-year-old Audrii Cunningham is found.
There's always hope. That's what we pray for. The safe return of Audrii to her family.
This new video from Friday morning giving a glimpse into the investigative side of this case. Livingston police officers appear to question McDougal by his blue SUV outside of stores in downtown Livingston. McDougal is the sole person of interest in Audrii's disappearance. On Sunday, search crews were out again, on land and on water. This new drone video from search crews showing them using boats downriver of the Lake Livingston Dam. The leader of Texas EcuSearch telling me on a phone call, it was another long day with no results, and that on water. This new drone.
Yeah, I want to see this. Hold on a second.
And on water. This.
See, there's that trail. Did you see that trail? I've been trying to find that on the map.
This new drone video from search crews showing them using boats downriver of the Lake Livingston Dam. The leader of Texas EcuSearch telling me on a phone call, it was another long day with no results, and that frustrates them.
But everybody gives them some kind of privacy and let them deal with this. This is a tragic incident.
As the search draws on, questions continue to pile up. The Texas Department of Public Safety not providing any updates in more than 24 hours, yet still holding McDougal in custody on an unrelated charge. Despite asking questions time and time again, investigators are only saying they just don't have a significant update.
And I know Audrii loved her grandmother, her father, her brother, and family. We want Audrii home.
Tonight, detectives are still asking anyone who's seen McDougal's blue SUV to pick up their phone and call them. They have the SUV and they have McDougal, but if they know where he was, that might lead them to where Audrii is. I'm reporting on Lake Livingston. Gage Golding, KPRC.
I mean, he couldn't have gone far, right? She was missing Thursday morning. So, I mean, I don't think he went too far. All right. So that's the end of that. Let's stop sharing this here. I think that's it for I mean, the updates on that. I don't see anything else coming out. It doesn't look good, that's for sure. All right, so let me I want to play, switching gears here. I want to go to this Adam Montgomery case really quick. Yeah, me too, definitely, for sure. He's definitely not a good guy. I mean, I think he should be locking him up anyways, for sure. But let's do this here. So I want to kind of play this one here. This is kind of the same situation, you know. I had this, but differently, you know, horrible parents here.
Police Department regarding the investigation into the disappearance of Harmony Montgomery. I know that was a mouthful. But...
Yes.
Okay. And just
so I'm just switching gears here to the Adam Montgomery, Harmony Montgomery case here that's been going on, and I think this is the last of the testimony. This is Detective Max Rahal, I think.
briefly, if you could describe for this jury what your role and participation in the case was, just a bird's eye view.
Okay. So I originally started working on the case early January of 2022. where we would help with searches, follow-ups, things of that nature. But I didn't.
This is the case I was talking about. This is another one of those cases where this child should have never been with this guy, ever.
Actually get assigned the case with Detective Dunleavy until February of 2022.
You mentioned a Detective Dunleavy. Is that Jack Dunleavy?
Yes.
And what is
Thank you, Dean, for coming in. I appreciate it. Have a good week. Have a good day at work.
your understanding of his role in this case?
The lead investigator.
And so what was that interaction like between yourself and Jack Dunleavy?
We had a good rapport, just going back and forth on different things that needed to get done.
I guess my question, did you split duties?
Oh, yes. Yeah, correct. Sorry.
And I think you said this, but you're...
So if people don't know about this case, she went missing. This is the case about Harmony Montgomery. Adam Montgomery is her father, and he's suspect being charged with her disappearance and unaliving. And he's a literal piece of dog shit. So this is the trial's been going on all week. The prosecution has 55 witnesses, and I think they're on the mid-20s right now. So she went missing back in 2019, I think, and she wasn't reported missing for 2 years. And when she was reported missing, police were pretty much solidly onto it. They never found her body, but they had arrested Adam Montgomery on other charges and then charged him with her disappearance and her unaliving.
Your involvement in this matter began in January of 2020?
Correct.
2022?
Yes.
I want to discuss specific processing of an item, sealing.
Yes.
Can you describe your role and involvement in the processing of a sealing for the jury?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yes. So we arrived to process the scene.
No, I didn't hear that. So there was another tip coming from overhearing stepmom's testimony. Great. Does anybody here think this guy's not guilty? Not this guy, but Adam Montgomery.
June 4th of 2022.
Let me stop you there. When you say you arrived to process.
Oh, sorry. 177 Lake Ave.
Hey, Honeybee, how are you? Good to see you, Honeybee. Good to see everybody.
Which is the Families in Transition building, also known as FIT.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're both pretty horrible people.
So we arrived there that morning to get consent from the CEO and the president of FIT, along with the occupants of room 1 in the FIT building.
And when you say we arrived, were you with other detectives?
Yes, I originally arrived there with Detective Dunleavy.
And when you arrived, what did you do?
We vacated the residence and to get it prepped for processing it.
Did you process the sealing specifically?
Yes.
And how did you go about doing that?
So when we walked in, there was 3 areas of interest. And
I will say one thing, though. I mean, I think the prosecution is doing a good job, but I don't think they've really provided any damning type evidence against him. I mean, I think the guy's wicked guilty, but the defense lawyer, the lady there, she's actually pretty good. But I think this is going to be a 15-minute jury deliberation, and they're going to come back guilty. The guy's guilty as shit. I mean, but all I'm saying is I don't think the prosecution has like that smoking 100% gun, except for the DNA testimony from the guy the other day.
the ceiling that we're talking about, MER 3D, that was further back in the residence of room 1. And so the processing of that, it was a huge piece of evidence. So we needed kind of all hands on deck when we actually took the ceiling down.
Hey, Heather Brown, how are you? Good to see you. Hey, Honeybee, are you a mod? Did I make you a mod, Honeybee? If you're a mod, you can throw Rick's Rick's chatting here.
You just mentioned the evidence number, MER 3D.
Yes.
What's the significance of the MER?
So those are my initials.
And so did you log that evidence in under your own name?
I did.
And why did you do that?
I was tasked with documentation and collection that day when we arrived at FIT.
You mentioned collecting MER 3D. Did you also collect event cover?
I did.
And what was that logged under?
I believe the vent cover was MER
Yes.
3A.
No?
At some point during your time, is it fair to say that during your time at the FIT shelter, you did more than just document the ceiling?
Correct.
What else did you do that day?
So after we processed the ceiling and packaged up and got it out of the residence, we ended up cleaning it to make sure that there was no dust on the ground. And we went and processed the scene with, or sorry, not the scene, processed the room and the bathroom with Blue Star.
And walk us through that process. What was your specific role in the processing of that room and bathroom?
So my specific role was documentation of what we were doing, and I was with Detective Bombard and Detective Bergeron Rosa. Mm-hmm.
So I want to switch gears with you, Detective Rahill. During your involvement on this case, did you have an opportunity to review Meta bank account records?
I did.
And specifically an account ending in 5270.
Yes.
And what did?
Okay, I think I just made Honeybee a mod and Heather Brown a mod. I think I have like 153 subscribers, and I probably have about 153 mods. That's too funny.
Is your familiarity with that account?
That is the bank account for Kayla Montgomery.
And to your knowledge, is that one that was a shared account?
Yes.
Objection.
Yeah, if anybody has channels or if anybody wants to post channels in here, go right ahead. I have no problem with that. Any way we can get more, focus on some of these cases that don't get a lot of attention. I have no problem with people posting other, even if you have your own channel in here, go ahead and post it. I don't care. It's fine. Like Southern Gal is fantastic. If people don't know who Southern Gal is, she's great. She has a great channel. Honeybee has a channel too. I don't know if Heather Brown has one. Not sure. But need more, decent YouTube content creators for sure.
Russell?
Let me ask a follow-up question.
So, Detective Rahill, you mentioned your familiarity with the records.
Yes.
How did you go about collecting? Did you collect those records?
I didn't physically collect them.
Did another officer
Yes.
involved with this matter collect those records?
Yes.
How did they go about collecting them?
Search warrant.
And you had a chance to review those records?
Yes.
Do those records document that? Well, let me back up. You mentioned that this was a shared account.
Yes.
What's the source of that information for you?
On the record.
Your review of the records?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I first?
Yes.
Showing that offense was been previously marked for identification as State's Exhibit 138. So Detective Rahill, I'm showing you it's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit 138. I'm just going to ask that you take a moment and review those records.
Mm-hmm.
Once you've had an opportunity to review those records. Thank you. So the records that I just handed you, States Exhibit 138. Are you familiar with this?
Yes.
Okay. What is it?
It was the bank records for that card number ending in 5270.
Familiar with these records?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, I move to strike the ID of States Exhibit 138 and mark as full.
Objection? Yes.
I'm pretty sure I subbed already, Honeybee. I'm pretty sure I subbed a long time ago, actually. Check. She does great. Honeybee does awesome work. I'm trying to fast forward it into actual testimony here.
Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
What can you tell the jurors what it is?
So this is a withdrawal from Citizens Bank at 688 South Willow Street. The transaction was.
And let me stop you there. You're familiar with it?
Yes, yes.
Is this taken from that larger record, States Exhibit 138?
Yes.
Okay. And there's something highlighted on it.
Yes.
And I think you were talking about that just now.
Yes.
Is this item, States Exhibit 61, is that a fair and accurate representation of a portion of the records that you have in front of you, States Exhibit 138?
Yes.
All right. Your Honor, the state moves to strike the ID of States Exhibit 61 and mark it as full.
Any objection? Okay, other than the previous objection that was noted, the court will strike the ID and enter this as a full exhibit.
All right, let's.
I'm going to take those exhibits back.
I'm gonna pause this for a second and go to another one here because I want to play this one too. I want to play this one here. This is
And the whole truth under the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do.
Thank you.
more of the testimony here.
Some water there.
Thank you.
When you're ready, if you can just begin by stating and spelling your full name for the record.
Yep. My name is Craig Stanzel. First is Craig. Last is Stanzel, Stanzel.
And I've called you Officer Stanzel, but can you tell these jurors how you're presently employed?
Yep. I'm currently a juvenile detective with the Manchester Police Department.
Jinx is awesome. Jinx is a fantastic person.
So Detective Stanzel.
Correct.
What's your current duties or role and assignment as a detective with the Juvenile Division of the Manchester Police Department?
Currently, I'm a school resource officer at Memorial High School. And when school's not in, I'm a patrol officer.
What is a school resource officer?
Officer at the school. We oversee school safety, and we try and bridge that gap between police and youth.
Okay. And you said you also do patrol when school's out.
Correct.
What does patrol look like for you?
Patrol is
Typical police duties, whatever calls for service might come in, car accidents, domestic incidents, also proactive police work, car stops, things like that. I became a detective in September of.
Yes, I'm sorry, Honeybee. I talked about her a little bit earlier on. Terrible case. Terrible. Both of these cases. Both of these things are terrible. Kids,
22.
You said September of 22?
Correct.
Have you held any other roles during your time at the Manchester Police Department?
Yep. I started off as a patrol officer.
Were you working patrol?
It's better to be late than later. Right.
Patrol back in December of 2021.
I was.
And let me back up for just a moment. Did you graduate from the New Hampshire Police Academy?
I did.
What year did you graduate?
I believe it was April of 2020.
Yeah, this kid here, Harmony Montgomery, should have never been with this guy, Adam Montgomery. Just, I don't know how. Well, I do know how, because it's just the system. The system is just really fucked up, and nobody checks balances and all of this stuff. This guy, innocent until proven guilty, right? But it doesn't matter. He's still a piece of dog crap. He should have never been with her, ever.
Do you remember what class that was?
181.
181?
Correct.
Back in
You're fine, Heather. It's just good to have you guys here. It's awesome.
December of 2021, what shifts did you typically work for the police department?
I was working day shift.
I'm the one that's late. I don't usually do my lives until late.
What do those hours look like?
7 to 3.
Sludge, yeah.
7 to 3:30.
7.
I just hate the guy. He's just, oh my God, he thinks he's smarter than everybody else. It's just annoying.
7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m.
Correct.
And back then in December of 21, what would happen at the start of each of your shifts?
At the beginning of every shift, we have a roll call with either the sergeant and lieutenant of the day, along with all the patrol officers going on shift.
You said that's at the beginning of your shift.
Correct.
About how many officers typically participated in that?
Yes, we are night owls for sure. I'm good until the sun starts to come up, and then once I see that round ball in the sky, right when it's time for me to go to bed.
However many are on duty that day, 15, 20.
You called it a roll call. What's the purpose of the roll call?
Multi-purpose. We do a systems check. We make sure all our gear is working properly. We'll go over any high priority incidents that may have happened recently, officer safety issues, and sort of things to be on the lookout for.
When you say be on the lookout for, do you talk about people to be on the lookout for?
Sometimes, yes.
Is there an acronym that goes along with that, a BOLO, for example?
Yes, BOLO.
Be on the lookout for, do those apply to adults as well as children?
Yes.
I want to switch gears. I want to talk about your involvement as an officer with the Manchester Police Department on a case involving a missing child, Harmony Montgomery. Are you familiar with that individual?
Yes. Yes.
Can you tell these jurors your role, just generally, your role and participation in that investigation?
Yes. Back in December, of that year, I located the vehicle in which he was occupied.
When you say the vehicle in which he was occupied, who's the he that you're referring to?
Adam Montgomery.
And let's break that down. When did you begin looking for Adam Montgomery? You specifically.
That morning, be on the lookout was issued during roll call for a blue, I believe a blue Pontiac with main plates that he was associated to. Adam Montgomery.
And I want to fast forward just a bit, but did you locate Adam Montgomery that day?
I did.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
So, Detective, I'm showing you State's Exhibit 101 Do you recognize the individual depicted in this image?
I do.
And who do you know this individual to be?
Adam Montgomery.
Do you remember the vehicle you mentioned, the Pontiac with Maine registration?
Yes.
Do you remember the individual that vehicle was registered to?
I don't recall the name. I do recall that it was related to Adam's current girlfriend of the time. I believe it was one of her relatives' vehicles.
Does the name Douglas Small stand out to you?
Yes.
Was that the individual who that vehicle was registered to?
Yes.
And if at any time during this discussion you need to review your report, let me know and I can give it to you. But that name sounds familiar. That's the individual whose vehicle you were searching for that day.
Yes.
Walk us through the course of that morning for you until you, from leaving the roll call that you discussed to finding the defendant. What did you do? What were steps that you took to find him?
So that particular day, my assigned route was Route 11, which is a west side route. I started the morning by checking local area hotels, hotel parking lots for that vehicle. I believe I checked the Econo Lodge and one other hotel on the west side and did not locate the vehicle. I then went to a parking lot where sometimes unhoused people sleep in their cars. And that's where I noticed the vehicle with the Maine registration.
And let's back up just a bit. What was the purpose of finding, what was your purpose of finding the defendant that day?
So the be on the lookout was issued during the roll call to locate Adam Montgomery in the hopes of locating his daughter, Harmony, who family members hadn't seen for approximately 2 years.
2 years. Generally, when you're responding as a patrol person, you wear any specialized
Give me a puppy.
Surveillance footage of your person.
Yes, we're equipped with body cameras.
And is that typical of each of your shifts as a patrol officer?
Yes.
Body cam footage, who is that issued by?
I'm sorry?
Your surveillance footage, the body cam footage that you wear. Who is that? Who gives it to you? You get it from the police department?
The camera? The camera is issued by the police department.
You see my dog?
Correct.
Do you have occasion
he left.
in your experience to review that footage?
Yes.
And in your prior review of body cam footage that you gather during the course of your time as in patrol?
Trying to show everybody my dog, but he doesn't want anything to do with it right this very second. Yeah, this is she got basically nothing. Which, you know, you got it. I'm not a big fan of that either. But
is that
it was the only way I think they were going to be able to get anything on this guy here. I'm melting down. I'm melting down for sure. It's unusual for me to have Sunday night off, so that's why it's a little strange.
the footage that's depicted, is it taken at the same time as the events that you're perceiving?
Correct.
And is it fair and accurate?
Yes.
And that recording, does it capture the events as they occur to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
So turning to December 31st of 2021, you were looking for the defendant, you said?
Yes.
Were you wearing your body cam
at
that time?
I was.
And was it running?
Yes.
And prior to your testimony today, have you had an opportunity to review the relevant portion of that recording?
Yes.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes, you may.
So to Detective, I'm handing you what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 140.
Yeah, he'll probably never see the light of day anyways, but you know, I literally want to see this guy fry. I mean,
3-2. I'm just going to ask that you look at that. What is that item?
yeah, he had a whole bunch of weapons charges. He was already found guilty of that. And I think he's pleaded guilty to a couple of these the lesser charges to this too. But now they're trying to get him for the unaliving.
USB card.
Okay. Have you seen it before?
I have.
Is there something attached to it?
Yep.
Do you recognize writing on the attachment?
I do.
And what is written there?
My initials.
Did you initial that?
I did.
And was that after having reviewed the portion of your body cam footage from that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, I move to strike that State's Exhibit 142, mark this full, published to the jury.
It can be, the ID is stricken, it is entered as a full exhibit, and it can be published to the jury.
Okay, so let's get to this here.
There we go.
Hey, it's Charlotte. Charlotte's in here. Hey, Charlotte, how are
I'm
you?
just going to ask that you turn to the screen behind you. The image that's the still on the screen there. What are we looking at?
That would be the blue Pontiac with the main registration that the Bolo was issued for.
And you testified earlier that you found the defendant that day. Where did you find him?
In a parking lot on Harvell Street, adjacent to some softball fields known as Wolf Park.
Wolf Park. I'm just going to start that video up.
Aggravated, is it aggravated?
What was the defendant doing when you found him?
He was sleeping.
Aggravated something was the other charge. This is what I wanted to get to here. This piece of dog crap.
And back up for just a second. Were you able to make out an article of clothing that the defendant was wearing?
Yes.
Yeah, he was wearing a T-shirt that had staff written on the back.
And can you just point at the defendant? You said staff was written on the back?
Correct.
And how about the front of his shirt?
Front says Chorus Banquet.
The individual that you identified as the defendant in this case, Adam Montgomery, is that the individual who's on the screen?
That's correct.
Was there another
Big tough guy, you know, with all the tattoos and stuff.
individual in the vehicle with him?
There was.
And how would you describe that individual?
It was a female asleep in the front seat.
And you testified earlier that it was a blue Pontiac, I believe?
Correct.
Seeing your body cam footage, Do you agree that it's blue?
Blue, maybe grayish.
Were there any other individuals in the vehicle with the defendant during your interaction?
Just a female in the front seat.
Was that Kayla? Kayla was in the front seat, right? Pretty sure Kayla was the person in the front seat. This is the part where he asked for a cigarette, that he went back into the car to get a cigarette. And I forget who it was in the other chat that I did on this, where they said, I can't believe they allowed him to go back in the car. I agree. That was dangerous. They were freaking living out of their car. So there's no audio. So that's awesome. But he gave him a whole bunch of excuses, and he wouldn't talk to them, and they were just basically trying to say, we're just trying to find your daughter, and he didn't want anything to do with it. He's just a piece of dog crap. He he didn't even want to do that. So let's play. This is the hearing for the additional tip in case on other matters, so hopefully there'll be audio in this. Let's do that. Give me a second here, and then I'll probably get out of here. But let's so this is apparently this hearing on this was on 2 days ago, and this hearing related to an additional tip in this case here.
All right, you may be seated. Attorney Audrii, I think you said there may be some additional.
Did, Your Honor, but I think you already addressed it actually at the very end.
Whoops, sorry.
The juror statements about whether they might have to come back to the use of one of the or two of the exhibits. So you already addressed it. I did also have that date of birth with regards to the transport order that's necessary. And I can go downstairs and provide that to the clerk's office as soon as we get done here.
If you give it to
I think it was you who said that, Honeybee. I think yeah, I'm surprised the cops let him go back in his car. I mean,
the clerk here, she can assist. Mike has the rest of the information, but I said they would.
so this is one of the defense attorneys here. I mean, she's really good. She's been kind of steadily trying to question these witnesses here, but the case the defense has here is just not good.
Date of birth, it needs to go into a transfer. You look like you're ready to say something.
I have perhaps two issues, maybe just one.
Okay.
It's about witnesses that are not on the witness list. During the course of the trial, apparently somebody contacted the tip line, was interviewed, gave information. The state has given us a recording of the interview. We've gone through it, but I have not. We've certainly had somebody trying to go through and see. I don't know, and I don't need to name that person now, I assume. So I don't know if we will be seeking to call this person. It's sort of a puzzle with sequestration when it's actually based on watching, as far as I know, the trial. So that issue, perhaps. And then as far as that sequestration issue, just the entire issue of Attorney Garrity speaking with Kayla Montgomery during the course of the trial. Again, I don't know. It's a thing to assess this weekend about whether or not we want to call him. I told you we would be perhaps preparing a motion to revisit the sequestration ruling by you.
So,
Neither are on the witness list.
okay. Perhaps that individual could be advised anyway at this point not to continue watching the trial. We would have to, I mean, I don't know what, if anything, that person would be saying, so we might have to assess that. Everybody now has the same amount of information, and so I assume everybody could be prepared to deal with it, but that person could.
This judge is awesome, though. This judge has been really good. I mean, she hasn't really favored one side or the other. She's been great, I think, anyways.
Not to continue to watch the trial would be a good idea.
I guess we could get in touch with that person. We learned of this same individual Wednesday afternoon that Attorney Smith is speaking about. And
yes, everything is done a little bit differently here in Cow Hampshire. I mean, this judge, though, she's been, you just don't want a judge that's going to be biased throughout the whole thing when they have, objections and sustains. She seems to be pretty focused on what's going on in the courtroom.
Within about 10 minutes of us getting the report, we immediately provided it over. We're also going to be looking at it, but I can tell you we've had no contact with this person. We'll certainly look at it. I guess we could ask whether or not our advocate could try to locate a phone number and maybe reach out and have her try not to watch anything additional for the sequestration, but we have no contact with this.
This whole courtroom has turned into a dump. Look at it. It used to be so great years ago.
Well, this person there's just a tip line information. This person has not been interviewed?
Detective Rayhill interviewed it.
They did. Apparently, they called the tip line. If I can just summarize briefly, apparently they called the tip line Tuesday after having watched the trial for several days. And in response to the tip line, Manchester Police said, okay, and sent a detective over to interview, or excuse me, I believe she came into the station to be interviewed, provided a statement that was audio and video recorded. The detective wrote that up. And
so this is a prosecution witness. That's not good for the defense.
Forwarded to us about 3 hours later, along with a copy of the video of the interview. That report, again, 10 minutes after we got it, we sent it over to defense. The video, I'm about to say the state has not actually watched the video yet, but I have no reason to believe it's different than the report. But other than that, the state and certainly the Attorney General's office, we've had no contact with this person. If you are asking us, if you would like us to please reach out to them, then we are happy to be able to do that for the court to say, please do not watch anything else. But
I guess, Attorney Smith, do you have any feeling about that?
No, I think it's appropriate. I don't know that we have the phone number to do it. I can't recall if it's in the report. So I think
it can't hurt, right? So I think it can't hurt. So if you have a phone number and someone can reach out.
I mean, some of the courthouses that I've seen, right? Like the one that Gull was in, that's a courthouse and marble walls. This here, yeah. If you go there and you're in trouble, yeah, they don't look good. But you were at the Tower of London, hopefully just as a visitor. Most people that go in the Tower of London don't make it out of there.
To tell that person to not watch.
The state can do that,
read.
Your Honor.
I think it can't hurt, and we can see where we are. So I would suggest that. In terms of any motion that you're going to file, let me ask you, given where we are, that would need to be filed like immediately, as soon as you possibly can. So where are you in the process of that? I mean, is it something that you could get to the court and to the state over the weekend?
Yes. Oh, yes.
So just tell me where you are in that process.
Brainstorming, completing research. We were transcribing the best that we could the disc that we obtained of the bench conference.
I will get back on the Princess in the Tower thing. It's just so many of these cases going on. I mean, was that a 400, 500-year-old case? But I will be getting back onto that. Where did we leave off with Henry the First? So I'll be going. I'll probably do that. Recorded. Not sure. Maybe not. I don't know. I do want to get back onto Flora too here pretty soon. So. But yes, I will be continuing on the old Princess of the Tower case.
And I think we
Because I think they have new testing they're doing or trying to do.
can piece it together. I think we will have it this weekend. If you're asking us to have it Saturday, we'll have
The Princess in the Tower, honeybee? If anybody doesn't want to be a mod, let me know. But I just feel like, I don't want to be like some of these creators that don't let people post. What do I care? As long as you're not posting like XXX porn sites in here, that's fine. But if anybody has a channel, go right ahead.
have it Saturday.
I mean, I would like to give the state an opportunity to look at it so they can craft a response. And I would like to look at whatever I can in advance. So we'll have to figure out. So what I'd like you to do is this. Tell me when you can reasonably get it. I know it's. I guess I want to know so that I can ask the state when they can reasonably get a response.
Sunday.
Okay, and
yeah, they dug him up just to bury him again.
Your Honor, I guess we'll try to have a response to you so that it's Monday night. Less than 24 hours might be a little bit difficult, but we could try to have it to you Monday night or at the worst, at least Tuesday morning so that
Charlotte is absolutely awesome. She's an awesome person. Always miss it when she's not in here. But she's all the way on the other side of the pond here. So she's a few hours ahead of us, I think.
when you come into the courthouse, it's there for you to be able to review before needing to take the bench.
so can you do this? Email them to each other as soon as they're ready.
Yes.
Just and email them to Clerk Scanlon as soon as they're ready. And
yes.
and he I will speak with him if that's going to be a problem and they need to be emailed directly elsewhere. But
all right, let's. I'm gonna watch a little of this. Whoops. Let me. I wanted to watch a little bit of this because this has come up a couple times tonight, and maybe he'll have some answers. Who knows?
The life of little Harmony Montgomery is almost too tragic to talk.
I mean, look at this kid. It's just absolutely horrible.
Talk about. Her death was so violent and so utterly reprehensible that it's almost too disturbing to mention. But tonight, we will talk about both because Harmony deserves to be remembered and this little angel deserves justice. Harmony was born to Crystal Sorey and Adam Montgomery. Adam was in prison when she was born, so Crystal was her sole custodial parent. But unfortunately for Harmony, Crystal suffered from addiction problems, and as a result, family services got involved. Eventually, Harmony was placed in foster care. When Adam got out of prison, he had very sporadic contact with Harmony, but somehow he was eventually granted full custody in 2019. Harmony.
We'll get Steve on the case too. Look at this piece of dog crap. Like, what a lowlife.
He was then living with Adam, her stepmother Kayla, and her two half-brothers. Adam and Kayla had addiction problems and big money problems. The family ended up living in a car. That's where prosecutors say Adam murdered his daughter in 2019. He's now on trial, but says he didn't do it. He claims Kayla is responsible for Harmony's death. Tonight, we have the latest forensic and DNA evidence revealed in court. Then we will go back in time to try to understand how career criminal Adam Montgomery was awarded custody as we continue our investigation into what happened to Harmony. I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. And when I think about Harmony Montgomery,
This was done a couple of days ago, so
I think of one question: why? And this applies to a bunch of circumstances here. The first,
this little kid right here would have gotten everything she ever wanted. Like I'm just a teddy bear when it comes to that stuff. My daughters, they get, and I get scolded here for just giving into everything. But you know, that's the way it is.
the most obvious is, why would anyone ever do harm to this girl? I mean, that.
Good night, Honeybee. Thank you so much for coming in. Honeybee's awesome. Go check Honeybee's channel out. She's great. Can't type anymore later. Take care, Honeybee. Honeybee's great.
I don't even know if there's no answer that makes sense there. There's no answer that could make sense to me or anyone else with a heart, with an ounce of humanity in them. Like, why would you ever even consider harming this little girl? Now, there's some other why questions that are, I think, really important in trying to uncover her story and understand how this all happened. And the first is with Adam Montgomery. Like, why did he want custody? Why do you want?
I know why he wanted custody. I mean, it's the benefits that go with it, you know?
Want custody. You know, when she was born, he was in prison, saw her sporadically, but then for some reason,
Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you so much for posting that.
For some reason, he's showing up in court to get custody of this little girl with special needs. And why would he do that? Why would he do that? Did he love her? Did he miss her? Did he think it was
They call it a meal ticket. You know, that's what they used to call it years ago, you know?
in the best interest of this little girl to be with him in New Hampshire, living in a car while he was doing drugs? Or was there something else up? I don't know, maybe.
And they let him do it. You know, they let it happen. You know, it's just
Maybe some government assistance checks that would come in the mail to whoever had custody.
I used to not like this guy years ago, but now he's wearing on me. He's just too funny. You know, maybe some government checks. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe. Then a bigger question, like, why did he get custody? Like, what happened?
Heather, it was so good to see you in here. Heather Brown's awesome. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. I know it's late. And we'll see you later. Thank you again for coming in.
What happened there? Now, I've never practiced family law, okay? But what I always understood is that the test that we use in our system of justice is when we're dealing with children and minors who basically really can't speak for themselves, what we're supposed to do, and when I say we, it's the decisions that are made are always supposed to be what's in the best interest of the child. Now, I understand there is some presumption out there that it's always in the best interest of a child, if possible, to be with a biological parent. I understand that. But
have a good week, Heather. Thank you.
This is Adam Montgomery we're talking about. Okay? This isn't Father Knows Best. This is Father Barely Knows His Daughter. That's who it is. So what happened there? We're going to investigate that tonight. Because this is a problem, a major problem, that someone...
I think it's more of a problem than people think. And I think more focus needs to be on stuff like this because it's just absolutely insane how this can happen. It just doesn't make any sense.
Sitting up high in a courtroom, because that's who makes these decisions. It's not a jury. Someone sitting high with a robe came to the conclusion that the best place for this special needs girl is to be with him.
Really? I know.
Why? Then the final question that I want to tackle tonight is, why did everyone lose track of her? When we first reported this story, when I first heard this story, the heartbreaking part, the part to me that spoke volumes about the life that Harmony had lived or was living, because we didn't know at the time if she was alive or not, is that a little girl is missing for 2 years. Nobody sees her for 2 years and nobody's doing anything. Like there's no adult anywhere. There's no family member anywhere. There's no family services person anywhere. There's no neighbor anywhere. There's no one anywhere saying, hey, have you seen Harmony? Where's Harmony? Oh, I'd like to see Harmony. How's Harmony doing? Do you have any pictures of Harmony? Huh, Dad, who fought for custody? Do you have a picture of your daughter on your phone? Oh, no, you sold your phone to get more drugs. I'm sorry. Like, how does that happen? We're going to try to answer that question as well. But a lot happened today inside the courtroom from the trial of Adam Montgomery. So let's go straight to Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson, who was in the courtroom all day, has the big moments for us tonight. Matt, great to see you. So as we know, the star witness for the prosecution, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, it's the problem, you know. The states try to get out of it as much as possible so that somebody can be responsible except for them. So it's just an ongoing horrible situation.
But it's who was in Adam's life is as Kayla Montgomery. So today, some witnesses attempting to corroborate some of her testimony to have this jury understand that maybe she's telling the truth.
Yeah, Vinny, that was some key moments that we saw here today. Nice to see you tonight. And you know who we didn't see was Adam Montgomery for day 7 of his murder trial.
He's such a piece of dog shit. He won't even go to the trial. It's just,
So there was a lot of witnesses that took the stand today corroborating Kayla Montgomery's story that Adam beat his daughter to death and then moved the body and the remains from place to place, including 2 former employees of the Portland Pie Company where Adam worked as a dishwasher and also a cook, a prep.
it's definitely one of the major motives: money, greed, power, that stuff.
A prep cook, where they saw him with the CMC diaper bag and they watched him walk it into the cooler with all the food. Take a listen.
Did you ever see Adam Montgomery there with a bag in the walk-in cooler?
I think I did, but I couldn't say with any absolute certainty.
Okay. And what do you think you remember of that?
I believe I recall him either coming into the walk-in or leaving the walk-in with a bag.
He always would just place it inside the walk-in cooler on the lower shelf. Sometimes he would move it to a different, location.
It's just absolutely disgusting. My God.
But it was mainly on the lower left-hand side inside the cooler.
And then we heard more corroborating evidence for Kayla Montgomery's story. We heard from 2 of Adam Montgomery's former friends, including Brendan Middleton. He's the one that is currently incarcerated. He's in Orange there. And he testified that he helped rent Adam the U-Haul because Adam didn't want that in his name. And then
none of them had a license. They were all trying to get this U-Haul, and none of them had a license. They were all just sitting at Motel Hell doing drugs. That's exactly what was going on.
lady on the left of your screen, Brittany Bedard, she rented the motel room that they stayed the night, that Kayla says that Adam left with the CMC bag with Harmony's remains in it, and then he came back in the U-Haul the next morning. Right.
That's the bag. That was her living space. It's just Ugh.
Before sunrise. But it's very interesting because under cross, she did mention to the fact that she never saw Adam holding that bag. She only saw Kayla holding the bag.
That's fascinating, interesting, potential problem for prosecutors, although I don't think it's going to be a huge problem. But again, Kayla Montgomery, I'm sure many will look at her and say she got a sweet, sweet deal in all of this, but it seems that her testimony was very necessary to try to put the pieces together and understand what happened to Harmony. So this bag, I mean, these poor witnesses, they're working hard at the pizza parlor, and to now learn that one of their coworkers is bringing a bag with his daughter's remains in it and putting it in the freezer, had to horrify them.
Yeah, it's not something that you expect to see every day. Just a horrible child of, she never asked for this, that's for sure.
Yeah, they were not excited about sharing that with the jury. And the jury, each and every time we hear testimony about the Portland Pie Company, remember, it was also part of the jury view. You can see that there's a...
Don't forget, she wasn't reported missing for 2 years. So they had a lot of time.
A bit of disgust in the faces of these jurors that are going to be making the ultimate decision here.
Yeah, it's ghoulish stuff. Absolutely ghoulish. Okay. Let's get back to Adam Montgomery. This is a guy who, it seems, had some level of paranoia going on, right?
You think?
Right? He knows what he's doing with these remains, and it seems that there was some evidence and testimony that he was a little paranoid that perhaps people were onto him.
Yeah, during the 2 days of testimony of Kayla Montgomery on the stand, she was talking about the fact that he would beat her, he would threaten her, and then he would tell her that she is working with authorities.
I think that, to be honest with you, in this case, I think that's the most damning testifying is the history of violence this guy's lashed out with. And I know some of the stuff has been kind of, not like 100% more like hearsay and stuff like that, but the jury did hear that. So I think that's going to go a long way with their verdict.
Suspected that there were cameras or microphones throughout the house. And we heard a little bit of testimony about that from the maintenance workers. So at their Union Street apartment, there was a maintenance call because the bathroom was clogged, the drain in the bathroom, in the bathtub. And so this maintenance worker was called there on February 27th, which happens to be one day after police testified that there was the purchase of a grinder saw and also a blade paid for by cash one day before. Well, there's this maintenance call, and when they're working on the house, Adam is acting very strange. Take a listen.
When you're doing this repair, where is Adam Montgomery?
Right outside the bathroom door.
Okay. And are you guys talking at all during that time?
Not really. He's doing more pacing than talking. So.
More pacing than talking.
Yeah, he was just kind of waiting for us to finish. I think I had to go back one more time to fix some lights on the ceiling.
Lights on the ceiling?
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
They were just popped off the ceiling. They were hanging by the wires.
Literally.
Yeah.
Off the ceiling.
Yeah. The wires weren't disconnected. I mean, a light isn't heavy. The lights we use are real light. They'll hang by the wires and still work, but they were hanging by the wires. So put them back up.
Any idea how those lights got pulled down?
Speculation.
Excuse me. I'll withdraw the question and I'll rephrase. With regards to those lights, did Adam Montgomery tell you how they got pulled down?
He said he took them down because he thought there were cameras in them.
And remember that this...
Oh my God, these people. I shouldn't be laughing. It's just, this guy is such a piece of dog crap.
Union Street apartment was searched after police were searching for Harmony Montgomery in 2022. And they also were looking into the plumbing there at that house. They also removed the refrigerator, that item, from the house. And we haven't.
Yeah, I knew as soon as they removed this refrigerator, they were going to be making an arrest. They had good evidence to go into that apartment building over on Union Street there and take this refrigerator out. And yeah, I knew it was going to be shortly after that.
Haven't heard much testimony about that refrigerator. We've heard other places where the
Right.
prosecutors say that her body was stored. But today, from this witness, we heard that when he was flipping the apartment after they left, he threw away all their belongings, he ripped out the carpet, and Vinny, they threw away the refrigerator.
So the refrigerator that was seized by investigators wasn't the one that was in the apartment when Adam and Kayla were there with Harmony's remains.
That's correct, according to this testimony today.
Wow. Wow, that's huge. Because that was such a big day, that search. They wheel out.
I wonder though where they got the refrigerator from and who removed it, because they can probably still find that refrigerator that got removed.
The refrigerator, they're checking the drains. And there was Adam. I mean, the testimony is that he's working in the bathtub, so there would be potential evidence, biological material in the.
I mean, this is just a slam dunk case in my. This is just if it's not him, then who?
Drains in the sewers.
And I think honestly, Kayla was too stoned to do anything, so I don't know. It's got to be him
somewhere, perhaps trapped in there. Wow. Okay. So how did the day end today?
With bombshell testimony from a lady that spends her life volunteering, and she actually provides medical rides for people in need that can't make it to their appointments, that have no transportation. Her name is Rose Smith, and she took the stand today, and she talked about giving rides to both Kayla and Adam Montgomery when they needed to get their methadone treatment. And then there was one day in particular, she said, I'll never forget. She looked at the jury and she said, Kayla was being abused. Take a listen.
When you saw her face, how did she appear to you?
Her left eye was badly bruised and starting to swell shut.
Did you drive her?
See, this is what I mean. The prosecution is really doing a good job of a string of violence here with this guy, because there's people, 3 or 4 different witnesses now saying that he's been violent. So
That day down to the methadone clinic.
I drove both of them that day. She was shaky.
Where was Adam when you tried to give her the phone?
He was walking back towards the car, but
And so at that point, you said he was walking back towards the car?
I didn't see Adam there. I saw Ray.
I also don't have any respect for any guy that hits a woman. I just don't. I just any type of physical abuse is just not acceptable.
So pure rage walking towards me.
Or any type of abuse, period.
He reached into the window of the car and twisted my phone out of my hand and said, "You're not giving my wife that phone."
Where was Adam when you tried to give her the phone?
He was walking back towards the car, but
And so at that point, you said he was walking back towards the car?
I didn't see Adam there. I saw rage. So pure rage walking towards me. He reached into the window of the car and twisted my phone out of my hand and said, "You're not giving my wife that phone."
She said that's the moment that she'll never forget. She said that she bought mace after that particular moment. She carried that with her. I met up with her outside the courthouse here. She spoke with Court TV. Here's what she told us.
That Adam had disappeared and pure blind rage was walking towards me. I describe him as Charlie Manson walking towards me. That's what it looked like.
So he's grabbing your phone. Is he holding your hand? Is he, is it a struggle?
It is a struggle. It was a tug of war with the phone.
She says she still has fear about that moment.
See, the jury hears this stuff, you know, whether they can formulate an opinion on it or not from the judge. Yes, I can. Soundtrack pretty soon. It's just the jury will hear this, and it's going to be pretty. I think it's going to be pretty quick, but you never know what a jury, man.
She said that he looked pure evil. So I asked
Okay.
her if she noticed anything
Crocodile Heap.
suspicious up until this point. She said that both Adam and Kayla were good actors, and they never once mentioned the name Harmony.
To me, that's game over stuff right there.
Yeah,
because
me
the whole
too.
defense is predicated upon Kayla being
The aggressor.
killer here, right? And
They haven't once shown any sign of aggression from Kayla. It's all one-sided, definitely to Adam.
now we've got this dynamic by someone who appears to be a very nice woman, volunteering to do this type of work to help struggling addicts, putting herself in harm's way to help people like Kayla and Adam. Are you kidding me? And she gets confronted by him, and she sees what she sees. That's powerful stuff from the prosecution. Matt Johnson, great work as always. Great to see you tonight. My guess is we'll be speaking again tomorrow. Thanks so much, Matt.
Yeah, Jocelyn can be the graphics organizer for sure. We'll have a Mexi be the map person.
All right, folks. So when we come back, let's talk about Adam Montgomery, the man on trial here for murder. How did he get custody? How did that happen? We're going to bring in some people very close to it who know a lot about what happened and how.
Called my lawyer frantic in Lawrence, and I said I sent over from that courthouse to the other courthouse that I would proof that I was there.
We had her on this program, and I asked her how that happened. Here she is giving an explanation.
So Jameson's case, because he was born in Boston, his case was out of Boston. I had to pick between the two hearings, and it was basically, if I was at either one of them, if I wasn't at either one of them, it was going to go bad for me. So I called my lawyer frantic in Lawrence, and I said I sent over from that courthouse to the other courthouse that I would proof that I was there. He said, I will quote, fight for a continuance. That never happened. There was no continuance granted. There was no continuance fought for, and they moved forward and handed him custody.
Unbelievable.
So in the same day, not only did my son get adopted, but my daughter got handed over to the one person that I begged them never to give her to. I thought they would give me a chance to go to that court date, you know, like give me a week, you know, just to make it to that court date for Harmony, you know, because I had made it to every single court date, every visit, every class they made me do. I did everything they asked, and they couldn't even give me a continuance.
So that's Crystal Sorey explaining her recollection of what happened the day that Harmony was handed over to Adam.
See, I feel bad for her, but I don't trust everything she says either. I just don't. But that's just me.
Montgomery. And this comes back to the question, like, how and why would that ever happen? Because at this point, it's at this point, subsequent to this, there's been other charges, but take a look at his criminal history, according to the New Hampshire Union Leader. Charged with possession of a dangerous weapon on school grounds, 2006. Charged with burglary, misdemeanor, simple assault.
This guy's a bad guy, right? This guy here, if you're capable of unaliving your own family, you're capable of doing just about anything. So this guy is right where he needs to be.
That case dismissed in January of 2008. 2007, charged with criminally threatening his 15-year-old former girlfriend with a knife, domestic violence. 2008, charged with stabbing someone in the leg and pushing him out of a moving vehicle. 2008, charged with robbery after breaking into an apartment and demanding money from two women at gunpoint. Pleaded guilty to armed robbery.
And this is the guy that they gave this daughter to. This is something wrong. This is
And
amazing.
assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. Then 2014, this is what he's in prison for, I believe, at the time that Harmony is born. Multiple charges after
Both states, my opinion, both states.
shooting a man in the head. Did you hear what I said? Shooting a man in the head. He pleaded guilty to larceny from a person, assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, carrying a firearm without a license, and discharging a firearm within 500 feet of a building. How about charging him with attempted murder? Like,
yeah.
That's what it's called when you shoot someone in the head. Wow. Okay. So how does he get custody? My guests are going to put a lot of light on this issue. Joining me tonight in Boston, Massachusetts, Boston 25 reporter Bob Ward. In Atlanta, Georgia, the adoptive father of Harmony's brother, Blair Miller, is with us, and retired First Justice of the Worcester County Juvenile.
That's so cool, Jocelyn. Crocodile heave.
Court in Massachusetts, and author of the book you need to read. It's about Harmony's case. It's called A Cruel Injustice, How Massachusetts Put a 4-Year-Old Harmony in the Hands of a Monster. Judge Carol Erskine is with us. Okay, Blair, I want to begin with you. Before we even get into this, how's the family? How the kids? How's everybody doing?
Well, Vinny, I appreciate your kindness and appreciate your coverage. We're obviously very concerned about what's happening with the trial. We're very concerned about the details we hear out of the trial. We're trying to live as a family of 5.
So this guy here adopted Harmony's brother. I did a live a couple of weeks ago about this whole thing, and I think he was actually trying to get custody of Harmony too. I'm not sure.
My husband and our 3 boys, including Jameson, very busy in school and getting through it each day, but also getting through it with the trial happening. And we're showing you some pictures of Jameson here. But
great smile.
The detail,
I love that
he's got
smile.
a big smile. He's got a big smile and a big heart. And hearing
Her brother loved her. Like, it's just, they look almost exactly the same.
details out of this trial, just awful. And we're certainly ready for this to get beyond this.
Okay, Blair, we heard Crystal's recollection of the day that Harmony was given to Adam. Does that coincide with your recollection of that day?
When we were matched with Jameson, it wasn't even until after Harmony was trial had happened and she was reunited with her father, Adam Montgomery. And she talks about these cases happening on the same day. Our understanding is, yes, they were having 2 hearings that same day. Jameson's, we understand, was a pretrial hearing, and Harmony was having her trial. We didn't officially adopt Jameson until November of that year. And you're looking at that picture right here with Judge Erskine and our other boys and Jonathan. But that trial didn't happen until actually later. So both trials didn't happen on the same day, as our understanding.
All right, Bob Ward, from your perspective, reporting on this, what's your take on how this happens, on how a little girl with special needs ends up in the hands of a career criminal?
Well, Vinny, a lot of it is still not really known. The Office of the Child Advocate in Massachusetts issued a 100-page report that shed a lot of light on the maneuvers that were made and who had custody and when they had custody and that sort of thing. But the actual decision that was made in February of 2019 by the juvenile court judge, we don't get a real clear understanding. What appears is that this decision to hand Harmony over to Adam was done very quickly in an expedited fashion. It was done before Crystal could get to that hearing. That's number one. And then number two, it was done, more importantly, I think it was done before New Hampshire had a chance to fully review Adam's living situation in New Hampshire. Massachusetts had asked New Hampshire under the Interstate Compact to come up with a study of where Adam was and some very important information that needed to be done. And there was some red tape that's been explained of why that wasn't done. But
That's why I think if Harmony is anywhere, she's probably in Massachusetts somewhere.
it was not done. So the judge didn't have some of this information. And in the end, what trumped Harmony's rights were Adam's rights. And that's the only way I can look at this. And it's still a head scratcher, Vinny. There's still a lot I don't really understand.
Okay, Judge.
I agree with this 100%. You know, it's part of our nature, really. I mean, they're kids, for God's sakes.
5 words: best interests of the child. How could that be the conclusion, giving Harmony to Adam Montgomery? I mean, the guy with this rap sheet, we know the insanity of his life, the drug addiction. My understanding is when there's custody issues, like for
That's the thing, Jocelyn. He just thinks he's so intelligent. He's such an idiot.
people who aren't even career criminals or completely addicted to drugs, but there's allegations going back and forth. Like there's there has to be some caseworker that has to go in, do a complete study of, all right, let me study this person, let me study that person, let me drug test this person, let me drug test that person, let me interview people in their life. Like, this is important stuff. It's not about a couple of drug addicts, it's about a little girl.
That's correct. It's not, everybody thinks it's about the best interest of children, and judges always have that in mind. But the law is that there has to be proof by clear and convincing evidence that the parent is unfit.
Yeah.
And really what happened in this trial is that you had 3 lawyers, public counsel lawyers, one for the mom.
That's why I wanted to go over these 2 cases tonight, because it's just, you know, when you a lot of people don't think about this stuff, but when you're in a true crime like we are, you know, you see this stuff happen all the time. You know, there's just 2 cases right here. This case here and Audrii Cunningham, you know, just something has to give.
One for the dad and one for Harmony. And all 3 of them, each individually, decided to have a strategy that Harmony should go with her father. And so because that was their strategy, essentially, according to the Office of the Child Advocate, they didn't present any evidence. They didn't tell the judge about Harmony's special needs. They didn't tell the judge about Harmony's disabilities. While they don't mention the issue of the criminal record in the OCA report, they said what was presented was just the father's self-serving testimony that his days of criminal behavior were in the past. And so under the law in Massachusetts, past acts like criminal acts have prognostic value in determining custody. But if it wasn't presented, then the judge wouldn't know. And the OCA basically said it best. You know, the Office of the Child Advocate said, if the evidence isn't put before the judge can only decide.
I mean, right? How much more evidence do you need? I mean, the guy's got a rap sheet 6 miles long. It's
on what evidence is before the court. And the fact of the matter is reams of evidence didn't come in. This was a one-day trial. As Bob just said, it was a short trial. It was expedited.
Let me ask you this, though, Judge.
Look at that. I mean, it's just amazing.
4 years and 8 months old.
A little clarification. The special advocate. My understanding, again, I didn't do this work, but my understanding is that.
Audrey, thank you for coming in. Have a wonderful week. Great to have you here always. Take care. I'll probably be getting out of here pretty soon too. I've been here almost 2.5 hours.
There should be like a lawyer in the courtroom advocating for Harmony. Is that who the special advocate was in this case?
There was a lawyer that was appointed.
It's 2:55 Eastern time here, so I'll go another 5 minutes.
To represent the child. And in Massachusetts, is one of 9 states that has an express preference representation model, meaning that according to the Committee for Public Counsel Services, the administration basically told the OCA that the lawyer for Harmony, quote, achieved Harmony's goal. That was one thing they said. And then the other thing they said was Harmony's preference, and that the lawyer then used him or her substituted judgment in going along with what Harmony said. It's really a dangerous representation model in Massachusetts. And that's one thing that Blair and Jonathan and I are trying to change, getting a special guardian ad litem, a best interest guardian ad litem on every single case for every single child, so that a lawyer just doesn't take the child's position and putting the child in danger.
Yeah, I mean, that's bizarre. That's bizarre. We only have about 30 seconds in this segment, but Judge, one more question for you. A judge is the judge, right? Like, you're on the bench, you're the judge, you're in charge. Like, you can say, well, do we have any information about your living conditions? Do we have any information about your criminal record? Do we have any information about you being violent in the past? And, can we wait for the mother to come here?
I think this stuff should go through like some sort of a committee where you have people who are specifically trained in this area here to make a educated, best possible decision. Period.
Judge could do all that.
Yes, one of the issues that I write about is the fact that Crystal Sorey asked for a continuance, and she actually had a petition before the court the very same day to be heard. And although there wasn't a trial in Boston, it may have been a pretrial or it may have been a hearing on the merits for custody. The fact of the matter is she did have to be in both places. And, as far as the other issues, judges have been warned, juvenile court judges.
I agree with that jury thing, or a panel, some sort of an educated committee of some sort.
Judges have been warned not to get into substantive issues because they're not supposed to be on one side or the other. And, that's something that doesn't fall on deaf ears and didn't for me either. So it's not like the judge could say, well, is there a criminal record? The judge has to decide based on what's put into evidence. They did put in evidence just by him saying, yep, I have a house and I have a job. But according to the OCA, there was no proof. He didn't provide proof that he had a job paid.
He was, in my opinion, he was methodical about getting his daughter back so he could get all of the benefits so he can continue doing what he was doing, and that was being an idiot. And hopefully he goes away for a very long time and meets a bad end. That's all I care about. All right, I'm going to get the hell out of here. You guys are awesome. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. I know it's late. It's 3:00. I'll be continuing to cover this case here in the Audrii Cunningham case. So everybody keep up the good work. Hopefully they find her alive. So I want to thank Jocelyn, Southern Gal. Southern Gal is awesome. Go check her out. She's got the greatest lives ever. Her and Mr. Steve do great jobs. Charlotte, thank you so much for coming in. It's good to see you. Finally, I did a live late enough so I could see you guys here. All right, so who else was here? We had Honeybee, of course, was here. I thought I'd see Frosty in here tonight, but I didn't. We had Heather Brown was in here. Charlotte, Jocelyn. Who else was in here? Miss Persevere was in here. I know that. I'm going to miss somebody. I know I am. Dean Johnson was in here. Thank you, Dean, for coming in. Dean's a great guy. Who else? Something tells me it's going to be a very long week. Let's see here. Who else came in? I think that's it. I think that was it. I think I got everybody. If I missed somebody, I'm sorry. It's just a senior thing. But I'm going to play my outro and get out of here. Let me see some of the latest comments here. Thank you, Southern Gal. Everybody have a great week. Stay safe. Don't trust anybody. And I'll see everybody next week. Good night, everyone.